Hi everybody! It's time for Bedtime Stories with Tim. I want to do my New Year's story, and as you can tell by the title, it's a far, far cry from all the other writing that I put up before. It's written as a gay primer and it throws every cliche in the book at you, but what I'm hoping to do in the end is flip it on you. I think my friends are going to enjoy picking out the places, although I can tell you the people in it are fictitious except for events that I pulled from my own life. And if you're uptight, you probably don't want to watch any further. Um, it's kind of graphic, but I guarantee you there's not too much in here. And I hope you enjoy. This is called Once Upon a One Night Stand, and I wrote it in serial format, so I'm going to do it in 3 parts. So here goes. 'Twas the night before New Year's as I stepped out of the car and entered the bar. My nose instantly assailed with the smell of nicotine and tar. Busy stacking bottles into stacks, the bartenders ignored the red-nosed fat men who sat all in a row, their butts overflowing stools like candle wax. Even though I'd just arrived, already I was ready to go. Silver and gold lights swiveled across a barren dance floor as music sounded with the claps of Olivia Newton-John's Xanadu. In a dark corner, leather-clad biker types gathered. I imagine they whispered about secret bear games, the hairy two-legged humankind as they compared metal paraphernalia and admired TV sets displaying images of naked men. On the screens, a dark-haired stud with a brimming smile wore a Santa's cap while exposing anatomy as long as his hat, but not as saggy. In a few hours, sharp-dressed guys would pack this place beyond occupancy, toting drinks and speaking amongst friends with a carefree attitude. Revising the year's escapades with each other, they will not so slyly glance around searching for Mr. He'll Do, a mouth to kiss at midnight and a body to take home for the first trick of the year. My lungs dropped and tackled my stomach at the mere thought of a one-night stand. I've been with Paul since I was 16 years old and missed out on the entire lifestyle. 10 years of wasted time. I struggled against the urge to turn around, drive home, and watch the ball of lights descend over New York in my living room. Mark drove, though. No Dick Clark this year. I ordered a Bacardi and Coke and a draft with a wedge of lime and a roll of quarters. Was Santa good to you, sweetheart? The words came from the mouth of a man sitting next to me. He smiled with puffy cheeks and drooping chins. Dark circles etched his eyes, and he licked his lips in a not seductive way, but in a repetitive manner, his tongue coating the top lip with saliva, then the bottom back up to the top. Yes, I returned his smile. I have no complaints. Wouldn't do you any good anyways. His hand found my buttocks and he squeezed. Girl, you're tight. I'm not a girl. Thanks, I said through gritted teeth. I angled my body to the side and turned my attention to the bartender, doing my best to pretend the old man did not rub my leg. The bartender poured a plastic cup full of rum and topped it with a splash of Coke, just enough to add a tea color at the rim. I paid him and stuffed the roll of quarters into my pocket. The sitting man stared at my coin bulge and then eyed me with a furrowed brow. I winked and took the drinks and hurried away. I found Mark leaning against a wall, one foot propped against it. In his nipple-revealing powdered blue shirt and navy slacks, he stared at the ceiling as he presented himself in what I call the "give me your best shot, boys" pose. The temperature felt like 100 degrees, but not a drop of sweat beaded on his toupee-like black hair. About time, Mark told me as I set the drinks at the side runner he occupied. What'd you do, import it? Ignoring him, I unraveled the quarters, selected 3, went to a nearby pool table. I inserted the money and heard the satisfying rattle of the balls falling together, bumping into each other before coming to a rest. You rack, I said, already headed for the sticks lined up along the wall. I selected a 20 weight, less warped than the rest. It felt right in my hands. I played no better or worse than most at pool, but it brought me comfort and placed me in a familiar ground. So you're actually going to go through with it this time, or are you going to spend the night talking? Mark said, arranging the balls in a tight triangular formation. He referred to my last 3 solo attempts at Carpe la Vie Deviant. The first guy I tried to take home called himself Jim, Jack, or John, changing his name every time someone asked. He said they were nicknames. He passed out on my couch the instant he touched the cushion. The next morning, he went by Bill Smith when I dropped him off at the Dodge Caravan. I had other names for him when I spied the grocery bag with tampons and a child seat in the back. The second run at it got a bit further. The guy's name was definitely Luke. Sober, he followed me home in a Sebring convertible. We progressed to him pulling up my shirt. That was where it ended. He bolted up, leaving my collar over my nose and my arms in the air. I heard him charge across the room, complaining about my audacity to wear deodorant, and then the door slammed. Mitch made my third. He confided he had a boyfriend before we walked through the door, and he apologized. I spent the entire night listening to talk about his relationship. I did not mind. Mitch loved his husband, and I think once they talk it through, they will work it out. Earth the Mick, hello! I'm not like you, I said, leaning over the table and taking aim. I've been with one person my entire life. You consider 3 people a week a drought. I need time. Mark held his 3 fingers in a W shape, flipped it sideways to an E, and then folded his fingers to flip me the bird. Whatever! Exclamation point. What are you, like 12? I slammed my stick into the cue ball. It collided with the other balls, sending them rolling and spiraling along the table into each other, but none hit a pocket. I skulked away, grabbed my cocktail, and choked on a sip. I do want to, I said. I'm sick of being the morals guy. I want to be like everyone else and have fun. Damn the consequences. It's just, I don't see how you do it. Not knowing anything about each other, not having more than a physical connection. What do you even say? Bend over, Mark said. He flashed a smile and sank a strike ball into a corner pocket. No, seriously. I just keep picturing the after and thinking about how I'd feel. It's not empty or awkward? My God, I've never dated. I'm 26 years old, already a troll and never even dated. I took a deep swallow and the burn felt good, numbing. Cool your curling iron, drama queen. No one is forcing you to do this. He clipped another stripe into a corner pocket. Personally, I think you should. You've been married your whole life. To your first, no less. You missed out, and it's time you got some. No relationships, no worries. Learn what it's like to play. It's awkward, sure, but you get used to it. I can't get beyond the point of you pointing out people and saying, did him, did him, did him. I don't want to be a did him. Gross. Doing you would be like doing my brother. That's not what I meant. Divines, you think you're a man, blared through the room. I grinned as Mark miscued and hit one of my solid balls by mistake. I took another gulp, traded in places. With a good song and a decent buzz, I could usually control the table. I'm going to do it, I said, if only to get it over with. 2 in the corner. Then you could at least act the part. For that matter, you could have dressed it, too. I looked down at my clothes and then over to him. What's wrong with what I have on? You're wearing tennis shoes. Gay men don't even own tennis shoes. What do they wear in the gym then? High heels and combat boots? Baggy jeans? It's the Levi leather bar. Your hair looks like it was done at Supercuts, and your shirt looks Old Navy. You need style and attitude. You've got a hard body, and you're a cutie. Advertise. A tight shirt with some flair, skin-tight jeans, not Levi's, and square-toed dress shoes. Your look should say, I got the goods, not, shh, I'm hiding under here and I use plastic at parties. 1 ball, side pocket, I said, feeling my face redden from the alcohol and the conversation. The ball rolled around at the pocket, spun at the edge, and finally fell. I released a deep breath I didn't even remember catching, lowered onto my haunches, and examined the table's layout. A blue flannel short worn as a jacket over a white tee sauntered through my vision. I smelled cologne, not sweet-smelling Paul Sebastian or Escape that most bargoers wore, but deep and spicy, Gautier. My eyes followed the shirt up to see a man whose face had a well-defined jaw, high cheekbones, blue eyes, and wild hay-colored hair. Can I play next? The man said in a soft country accent, a voice you could listen to in the dark, warm, a bit scratchy, and definitely masculine. I miscued a dead-on shot. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Mickey. Mick, I said, going to them. Rob. Well, Rob, Mark said, placing his arms over his shoulders. It's my turn to shoot, but I need to go take care of some business. Play for me while I'm gone. Rob took the stick I offered him. You don't want me to do this. I'm not really good, he told Mark. That's okay, neither's Mickey. Hey, now. Mark waved me off and headed to the loo. Rob leaned over the table to make a shot. The room disappeared, leaving only his bubble butt straining against the constraints of his jeans, shifting up and down as he made repeated efforts to stretch across the table at different angles. When he took his shot, I do not really know what ball he aimed for, but the cue flew into the air and rolled over the floor. I should have offered to get it. I felt a tingle of guilt, but it faded as he strutted over and bent down for it. "I'm sorry," he said, making his way over to me. "I told you I was bad." He placed the ball into my hand, and his fingers slid slowly over mine, turning the muscles into my body to lava. Did he delay our touch on purpose? "Don't worry, I do it all the time." I searched his face for an expressional hint. Perspiration beaded on his skin, darkening and matting his tips to his brow. He combed his hands through his hair the way I wanted to do it. "Oh my God, I am hot. I could have told you that." Those words escaped my lips. Me, I actually said that. He smiled wide, cast his eyes to the floor, and gave me a tilted glance. "Thanks, so are you." I'm not sure which of us blushed more, our eyes locking, licking away, and then locking again. "Did I win?" Mark placed his 3 shot glasses on the rail. "You bought shots," I said. "Did you call Ripley's first to get it on record?" "That's it. Make me look bad in front of strangers." "Goldschlager, I'm out," I said, seeing the flakes sailing in the drink's bottom. "Come on," Rob said. "You can do it." I did do it, and many more after it. The alcohol flowed, the balls fell, and we laughed, rating the pictures of men on the screens in a coy way to determine each other's types. I threw game after game. The people in the bar multiplied, and space became an endangered resource. A drag queen named Tanya eventually outed us from the table, running the balls in angles and banks that defied our meager skills. We were not upset. Pool had lost its appeal after men slapped us on the butt, pushed us, and groped our crotches. Why is it that certain people think it's acceptable to go up to a stranger and clasp his privates like some sort of handshake? "How you doing? Good package. Nice hang. I'm Dave. I see you go to the left. I'm a right guy myself." The 3 of us stood back for a while, watching the clamor unfold. Most people dressed well, slacks and colored shirts. Their different colognes mixed with the smoky air, commingling into one singular smell, eau de club. Drag queens and bears made the showing as well. One guy came appareled in a diaper and sash that said New Year's. He accessorized with bottle, pacifier, and cowboy boots. Cocktailed enough, we danced on the checkered lit floor to Small Town Boy, Carmina Burrino Fortuna, and even got down with Staying Alive. Winded and dizzy, I staggered from the dance floor to make a pit stop. At the urinal, a Filipino man next to me tapped me on the shoulder, leaned over to my ear, and whispered, "Do you know you're in a gay bar?" I zipped up fast and exited. I ordered drinks at the dance bar, adding a Miller Lite bottle for Rob to my typical draft and Coke splashed rum. I scanned the dance floor but did not see my friends. I checked the pool table, the sitting area outside, and made 3 rounds the entire club. Finally, I tossed the drinks into the trash, stopped to get my hand stamped, and went out to check Mark's parking place. A Dodge Viper half up a snowbank had taken the place of his Volkswagen. Damn it! I should have known better than to ride with Mark. I should have known to leave him better. I should have known better than to leave him with Rob. I should have. Men will hurt you every time. I showed my stamp to get back into the building. Just inside the entrance, a meatless young guy in glasses turned to me, smiled, and said, "Do you know this is a gay bar?" "Really?" I surveyed the bar in feigned surprise. "Oh well, always been a little curious anyway." Midnight found me standing in the dark corner of the dance floor, my mind running through a list of friends for someone that might be home to pick me up once I sobered. Worse still, 4 different people had stopped dancing long enough to ask me if I knew I was in a gay bar. Why did they ask me that? Was I that much of an outcast? I felt as if my shirt held neon letters blinking the words repeatedly, "Don't belong." As Auld Lang Syne played, I wondered if so-called friends should be not killed. Then I wondered about Paul, where he was, and if I ever came in his mind. Did he kiss his new man right now, or did he cheat on him as well? It's going to be a happy new year. Tears traced the lines of my face. I pivoted toward the wall, thankful the darkness hid my public display. "Hi." I turned to see the bears, the ones here when I first arrived, still clad in leather vests much too warm for the sweating heat inside. Yes, I know I'm in a gay bar, I said, wiping the salty residue from my face. Actually, we were going to ask if you're all right, said the taller, muscular guy wearing a German military-looking hat and sprouting green and red tattoos on his arm. You look so sad, said the shaved head, heftier of the two. My friend left me here. Oh, honey, said the shaved bear. Don't you know better than to ride with a gay man to a bar? You'd think. I'm Patrick, said the tattooed one, and this is my boy David. Mickey. We can give you a ride, said David. We're stopping by the Eagle first. You're welcome to come along. No strings attached, and you'll be safe. Then we'll take you home. We're not players. I laughed. I'm so not a player, I said, smiling and tearing at once. It's up to you, said Patrick. I'd like that very much. I followed them out, and we climbed into the green Ford F-150. My anxiety increased. My body shook, and I clenched my teeth to keep them from rattling. Not just because of the cold and the alcohol lowered my body heat. Though leery of their intent, I did not fear the two who rescued me. The Eagle, that scared me. I had heard nightmare stories of the place, public displays of debaucheries, fetishes, fights, drugs, and near rapes. The bar I had sworn never to enter. Only I could go on a search for Bohemia and find Gomorrah instead. This is where I'll stop and go to part 2 and another version. I hope you enjoyed it, and there's more to come. And like I said, I warned you if this is not your type of story, but I think a lot of my friends enjoy it. And like I said, let me know. Good night, everybody.